Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to season 10 of the Dorks, and we are back. I am good old JV, joined as always to my left by the talker, a talking Sam. Welcome back to season 10. Who'd have thought? Fucking 10 years ago when we were
to your left. I look like I'm on the right to the screen, but I guess if you go behind us, it would be to your left.
Yeah.
And I'm also to your left because I'm in Lancaster County and you're in Berks, so we flip-flopped.
Yeah, I don't know why we did that. Because
terrible decision. We both hate it.
Yeah, we both hate it. Why didn't we talk each other out of this shit?
No.
Makes no sense. Can you believe it though? It's not our 10th anniversary because our first episode was February of 2016, but if you figure 16 was year 1,
yeah,
we are in season 10.
Season 10,
and
Yep.
We are here to do our once a year because we don't talk to each other otherwise. Right Correct. Before Wrestlemania episode to preview and talk shit on each other and basically call each other fat and stupid for an hour and hopefully get some good clips out of it. That's the whole idea nowadays. Who cares about an hour-long show? Just give me some clips. God damn it.
Yeah, it's Mania season. I'll probably watch. I mean, we'll see. I'm now lapsed. I'm the lapsed fan.
I can't believe it.
Wrestling has lost me in general.
It's awful.
I used to watch AEW, loyal AEW fan. I don't even really pay attention hardly what goes on in AEW anymore. WWE, I still kind of follow what's going on, but I rarely watch. I'll watch like a segment that I hear like is good, but yeah.
Why don't you watch AEW? When you said that earlier today, I was like, that's surprising because you were like, pun intended, all in on AEW, and then it just like got old or what?
They just never they never came through for me on storylines. There was never nothing, you know what I mean? So it was story, and I had some bad luck with injuries and stuff. I get that, but yeah, it just never. And there's good stuff I think on there, and I don't want to say moved on from wrestling in general, but it's like, and my pick back up is right now Monday Night Bowling is now over as of last Monday.
Yeah,
and football doesn't start until September.
Well, you got the Phillies.
So I got post-Mania season wrestling, which is the worst. Look forward to. And yes, the Phillies who held on today to win 6-4.
Congratulations to win. Hey, we took 3 out of 4 today. So Pirates, I had to wear the hat. Jen goes, "You're gonna wear a hat for your podcast?" I'm like, nobody wants to see my new long JB hair, so we're gonna stick with a hat.
You bored to get a haircut, or what happened?
No, I'm actually just growing it out a little bit.
Wow, that's the longest I've ever seen your hair.
Yeah, I think it's probably the longest I've had it since before podcasting, 10 seasons. You know what I mean?
What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. Pretty much at this point, I just throw a little bit of gel in it and throw it off to the side.
Gotcha.
I don't do the back like Sam. I do the side. Not that anybody can see it because, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, I am throwing on the hat because nobody wants to see that shit. Speaking of nobody wants to see that shit, there's a lot of matches on this card that I'm not really that interested in. Unfortunately, it's 2 nights. It's going to be, they said, all told, 16 hours of wrestling because there's a 2-hour pre-show, a 4-hour show, and a 2-hour post-show each day.
And so that's not including the Hall of Fame, right?
Right, not including the Hall of Fame. Yeah. But and not including SmackDown, which is also 3 hours on Friday. So it's going to make for a long fucking night or weekend of wrestling. But you said you took a gander at the card. We're not gonna.
Yeah, I kind of know what the card.
Yeah.
The big matches were, and then so I took a look. Because I know some of the smaller stuff, I probably didn't know what was going on. Where do you want to start?
I was just gonna say, like, when you just in general, when you look at the card, could it even top last year? There's no way. I mean, last year's WrestleMania was one of the best.
I don't even remember what happened.
Oh my God.
All this stuff, when you get to this point, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It meant more when we were kids, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
So the thing that stands out for me is Punk is getting to headline night 1 of a buy one, get one.
Buy one, get one. I know. It's so great, isn't it?
Pay-per-view extravaganza. What did he say? Something like that?
He told MJF that if he goes to the other company, he could headline night 1 of a buy one, get one free pay-per-view extravaganza or something, which is exactly
and
what
I think he's also said things like sucking a blood money dick before as well. Well, now he's firmly on that blood money dick. And he's got what he always wanted. He's main eventing WrestleMania. So more power to him. That was another thing. We talk about AEW. Another thing that lost me. Like when I was watching when Punk was there.
Yeah, me too.
Because Punk brings eyeballs. It's just what he does. And they were more concerned with they weren't concerned, in my opinion, AEW with what fans wanted. They were concerned with what their little clique, so to speak, wanted.
Yeah, what they wanted to book. Yeah,
not about what fans care about and what makes money.
Right.
It was about keeping, the young buck types and even though he wasn't even there anymore, the Cody Rhodes of the world. It's so funny. I just have to laugh still that Cody Rhodes is like this main event in WWE, and yet he still is like, I'm still boys with the young bucks. And
I really don't. That was going to be one of the ones I talked about, the Cody Rhodes. I want him to lose this weekend because I just don't believe in it. I don't. There's something about it that
we'll talk about that then. You're jumping. I jumped it. We're jumping. Let's talk about Saturday.
Oh, you want to go chronologically? All right.
Yeah, let's go chronologically. Let's start at what do you have at the bottom of the card? I have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
So El Grande Americano is Chad Gable, but it's like a riff on the Mr. America Hulk Hogan thing where you're supposed to
nobody knows,
but it's not nowhere near as good, and it's not Hulk Hogan, so less people.
The best with that so far, with the best of this whole thing was I saw one where there was a crowd chant, and they were going, "That's Chad Gable." No, it's not. It was actually pretty funny. So now that, who gives a fuck? Just let Rey Mysterio have his moment. And you know what I mean? Like,
I guess so. I guess at least Chad Gable's on the card, technically. So that's nice for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of
on the card. I guess I'll bring it up as a Lapsed fan, but I noticed Miz is not on the card for the first time in like 20 years.
Yeah, I thought that he was going to make it because he just started a new tag team or whatever.
Oh, did he?
Him and Carmelo Hayes.
Okay, because I remember the Miz and Truth were on a tag team.
Yeah.
And now the Miz is starting a YouTube golf channel, so I don't know, but he's not on WrestleMania. I noticed that. But yeah, this match, I don't know. I guess it gets Rey Mysterio and Gable on the card.
Yeah, it's a nothing match. I don't even have a prediction. I want it to be it'll be good because they're both really good in the ring.
It'll be, yeah, exactly. It should be a very good wrestling match. Just storyline, what is intrigue.
Right.
Now there is some intrigue for me on Jade Cargill versus Naomi. It will. How good can Naomi make Jade Cargill look?
That's exactly what it is.
For all the talk and everything, I have not seen. Jade Cargill's been kind of kept under wraps the most.
She doesn't really wrestle,
and what I hear is because she can't wrestle yet.
Yeah,
and WWE was kept saying like, "Oh, AEW didn't know what they were doing. Like they didn't give her the right training." Well, she's been in WWE for a while now, and she's still not doing a ton. Yeah. And the way AEW booked her hid most of her flaws in the ring. I thought she was booked pretty well, but I guess maybe if she had all these flaws, it wasn't going to work long run anyway. But right now, for me, Jade Cargill is a big miss for WWE. Because she has the look by far, she has the charisma, whatever. But they have not figured out a way to make, in my opinion, her a star.
Yeah. I agree with, and that's why she was in a tag team as soon as she got to WWE because she can't hold her own, and she had Goldberg type squash matches when she would have single matches because she can't wrestle. But the thing is, that's fine though. It's fine as long as she doesn't like hurt people and they keep it going like that. But I guess to put her into stories, it doesn't work to have just short ass matches. Yeah. If short ass matches isn't the story, it doesn't work. So.
That was my only thought there. Now, the rest of Saturday's matches all say are title matches. I don't know if that's what you have too.
Yeah, pretty much.
War Raiders versus New Day. I did read about the New Day's heel turn, and I did read that the Viking Raiders were put back together and are allowed to use the name War again.
Yep. And they're no longer really Vikings. They're just like big, tough dudes, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I haven't been watching, so I can't give really any insight here other than you. I'll have to lean on you here.
Well, I can tell you, I'll give my insight on the New Day heel turn. They fucked it up like big time. There's really like nothing has come of it. The moment was amazing when they turned.
And the only way
Yeah,
I watched
Big
that
E.
segment. I did watch that segment.
Yeah, that segment was incredible, but nothing since then. They just come out and they're like doing the old, oh, here we are in Tampa, and I bet the Lightning can't score tonight. Like they do the old like terrible heel,
Yeah.
like it's just like cliche garbage. And they really, without Big E around, there's no reason that they're evil. Do you know what I mean? It just makes no sense.
Gotcha.
They got new generic music, so there's no more. It's a new day. Yes, it is. There's no more of that.
That's too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too happy.
I don't want people to clap along or whatever, but yeah. No, I get that. Isn't it crazy that Kofi was main event, won the belt at WrestleMania, and it felt like this amazing feel good moment.
Yeah.
And then he was jobbed out in like 10 seconds to Brock.
10 seconds to Brock because of Fox.
Now he's like, whatever fodder on the.
Yep.
I hopefully the War Raiders retain their title just because that's who I'd be rooting for. The New Day doesn't need another title win, but who knows? Maybe they'll get one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you think there.
Well, I think New Day I think New Day is going to win. It just seems really, well, you haven't been watching, but it seems forced that they suddenly, like they won like a qualifying match like 2 weeks ago. And that's another, before we go deeper into matches, some of these matches have long-term build-up, but like so many of these are just like, oh yeah, you have a match of Mania now. You know what I mean? Even like the Intercontinental thing, which is a fatal 4-way, which might be on your card there.
Yeah, yep.
That it's just came together.
That would be on Sunday, the fatal 4-way.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. I just haven't.
You know me. I'm going by chronological order.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What do you got next chronologically?
So yeah, that was that match. Yeah, I guess I don't know with the New Day heel turn. Like I guess they had to at some point.
Yeah, I mean they blew it.
Yeah,
they really have blown it. I mean they're getting older, so they can't put on the type of matches that they could.
I think the match will be pretty good knowing those teams.
You think?
Here's what I think though with the New Day and these things are not being followed through on. I do think some of the storylines in WWE are incredibly well executed. However, you have things like this and even more, the Wyatt 6. We can't really get into it, but like don't do something if you don't have an entire storyboard and thought and you're going to stick to it, because people get invested in stuff and then when it absolutely just does not, it just turns them off and they don't even want to watch
something that awesome and deep.
For me.
Like that Wyatt 6 that when they first showed up, oh my God. You remember that? Like backstage with the flashing
Chad Gable,
dead people.
Whatever.
Yeah. Like that was incredible. And then
where can that go? You can't actually kill people.
Well, yeah, I guess that was it. Maybe it's just like, yeah, there really was nothing after that. They tried to do a carrying cross angle and stuff, but
then we finally got Uncle Howdy. Like that was the next big thing. Like we're finally gonna like see Uncle Howdy. And it just feels like it's for me, it's like the same way like in AEW. Like I hated what they did with the Dark Order after Brody Lee died.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with them. Like there'll never be another leader. Like, no, there needs to be, it should have been run like it was originally when the Dark Order going, this is nothing to do with WrestleMania, but when the Dark Order first came AEW, I was excited because to me, it felt like it was going to be this like, big like weirdo cult, and they were going to keep getting people to join this weirdo cult, and it was going to get bigger and bigger, and all the people in the cult were going to be like cult members, where they're just they're brought in by whatever it is, whether it's a cult of personality, whatever, but it didn't. And then you brought Brody Lee in, and he was the leader, and that made some sense, but then he died and they just felt like they couldn't do anything with it. And I felt that was the wrong way to go. I felt like they should have did something where, they looked for a new leader, basically.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't.
And I get that it wouldn't have been a slight to Brody, in my opinion, but whatever. That's nothing to do with WrestleMania. Let's get back to the card. I got U.S. title match, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
What's going on tonight? I mean, I thought he was going to be. I know he's old, so I guess maybe that's why he's like high middle card.
High middle card, yeah.
He's never going to be a main eventer.
No, he won't be, and he gets like the biggest pop pretty much of the night. He's on the par with like Randy Orton.
He does LA Knight, right?
Yeah. He still does all that, and he's super popular, and he has the the 6 moves that he literally just does 6 moves and punches. That's kind of like he's just The Rock. I know everybody has done that comparison, but he pretty much is. But this again kind of came out of nowhere. A little bit of build up on SmackDown, but I think it's time to put a title on Fatu because the crowd is actually he's another one of these like cool monster heels.
Yeah,
the crowd is starting to really like him, and I think it's time for him to win it.
Okay, yeah, I've seen some of his work. I know he's a beast, and his stuff generally looks pretty good. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening. And then trying to figure out where you go with LA Knight from there. Not sure.
I mean, he's good enough. You could throw him into the world title picture. He doesn't have to win it, but
he's like one of those guys that's in the picture sometimes, and other times he's relegated to
right. Yeah, and it would make sense if he was there. It's not like who the fuck's this guy? You know what I mean? It makes sense.
Right. All right. The next match I'm showing, and we're doing like reverse. I'm dictating you, but it's only because you know what the hell is going on in a lot of these things, and sometimes Tiffy time, Tiffy Stratton.
That's Saturday.
Okay. Charlotte Flair. That's what's saying on here.
Okay, I thought that it was the other way around, but yeah, I guess that's fine. So, did you get to see? This is weird that you didn't see shit. Did you see the Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton?
I read about their in there, and there were people saying that they went off they went off the
supposedly they went off script. I mean, there's less. Oh my god, I'm disgusting. There's less scripts nowadays, but they went way off. Like they started talking about like each other's actual personal lives. Like Tiffany said, like, oh, Charlotte, you're gonna have 3 divorces. You're gonna be 0-3 at WrestleMania, just like your divorces.
Yeah,
and it's like, come on, man.
I like that.
I mean, it's good, but it's a little much. I mean,
just like your daddy. Just like your daddy.
I mean, she might as well just go after her terrible plastic surgery.
Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah, we won't get into that, but yeah, what a disaster that is. Like, I know. There's so much like bad plastic surgery is so bad. Like, and most of the time, most people look way better before plastic surgery. So
yeah,
unless she's way too plastic. But
yeah,
she's
you're right.
Hell of a hoss in the ring. A hell of a hoss.
Oh yeah, she's really good. It's so funny. They brought her back. She won the Rumble, and nobody gave a fuck. She just cannot play a sympathetic character that people will get behind. You know what I mean?
Is that because she's a Flair?
It's got to be, or because every time she comes back, she's booked to win, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean? It would be like if
Reigns was away for a while, comes back, is right in the title.
She didn't do shit and came back to the Rumble and won. Yeah. You know what I mean? And now she's at WrestleMania. It's the only match she's done in the last 16 months has been the Royal Rumble. So yeah, that's exactly what it is. It would be like I said, if Roman tried to come back and play sympathetic character, you just can't do that. So, anyways, yeah, Tiffy wins.
Next, Jey Uso and Gunther. Listen, I read an article today, and it was ESPN wrote an article about Jey Uso is now a main event superstar, and his journey from bottom level to tag team superstar to now singles superstar. Now, I guess I'm too old anyway. I'm not the target audience of wrestling anymore. I'm 42. I'm 42. I
drive a Volvo.
Yeet. I wish I drove a Volvo. Yeet. This entire main event run, I feel like, is based around Yeet, and being something that fans can yell. I don't know. They had that match the other year at Mania, and I thought it sucked between the Usos. I remember watching.
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah.
And I don't know if Jay's going to get his Mania moment. I bet he will, based on. But Gunther's been so strong for so long. I could see that at least there's intrigue in that, like who wins. But
yeah.
I just don't see, in my opinion, the Usos to me aren't. They're bit players. They're the side guys. They're not main eventers.
They're just also not terribly good. I know you don't have to be not everybody has to be AJ Styles or whatever in the ring, but like they fuck up a lot. You know what I mean? The Usos, they do that dive through the ropes, whatever you call it, and their feet constantly get like if you're
you mean in the middle of the ropes?
Middle of the ropes. Gotcha. Or like either middle or over, and like
not a tope suicida.
No, that's the one you flop over, isn't it? Or is that
you don't know shit about wrestling. Do you realize that?
Well, at least I fucking watch it.
But yeah, I just wanted to say, I guess Jimmy's not on the card because he got taken out by Gunther on Raw. He got
that was actually amazing. Did you see that?
That's gonna be like his angle to be out, right?
Yeah, but did you happen to see that segment? You don't see anything. Oh my god, it was so good. Gunther beat the fuck out of Jimmy, and then he handcuffed Jay to the ropes and continued to beat the fuck out of him, and then took his blood off his face and wiped it all over his body while Jay had to sit there and watch. It was really good. It was one of the best segments like of the year, but unfortunately, it was in this feud.
Jimmy and Jay. You wonder how Jimmy feels. Like, I'm not even on the card, and Jay's in a title.
I never bet Jimmy feels pretty drunk. That's kind of his thing. You know what I mean? His brother and his wife are both on.
Maybe it's gotten better for him. That's a low blow.
Oh, sorry. I
thought you'd be better in your 40s.
No, my God.
Mid-40s. Sorry, mid-40s.
45, man. 45.
And then we already talked let's talk about the actual main event.
Yeah.
Punk, Rollins, Reigns with Paul Heyman dangling from a cage or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. Why are they all? It's so weird. It's like this weird love triangle thing. Like
I'm a Heyman guy. No, I'm a like.
Yeah. Like it's so strange. Like I get it. Punk was a Heyman guy a million years ago, but I guess you didn't need to add that to this to make this a bigger match.
I guess they didn't want it to hang over the other way though, because like. Wasn't there a part of a story where he owed Punk, right? That's why he had.
Yeah, the whole thing is he owed him a favor.
So to me, why wouldn't you call him the favor to turn on Roman during the match and win you the title?
Right. No, the favor that he got was apparently the favor that he cashed in is that Heyman's in his corner.
Yeah.
On Saturday night. And then Roman, like, he didn't fuck up Heyman or anything, but he pie-faced him on Raw last week. So, like, he officially broke it off with Heyman.
We'll see.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that's going to be the double cross on Punk. And then I wonder, why couldn't it just be one-on-one? I wanted to ask you that. Why couldn't it just be Punk Reigns? Why did we have to shoehorn Rollins into it?
They need something for a lot of these guys, and that's how they just they put it to storyboard. It's like, it's funny. This is the main event, correct? Don't you believe it's the main event?
No, it is. They said that Jay and Gunther is opening the show. I saw it today on Twitter.
Yeah.
X, whatever the fuck. And then this is the main event.
It just shows you, like, the world heavyweight title, to me, is
a secondary title.
I mean, the real stars are in the main event, and the real stars are Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and to a lesser extent, Seth Rollins.
And that's what's so hard about this is, like, I want to care a lot, and I do care a lot about the main event, but imagine if this had a title attached to it.
Yeah, it's rough though too, because like it doesn't need a title though, because it's like the stars.
There's that whole thing, but
it kind of makes the titles feel lesser important. I get it,
right? You know what I mean? Like this, they only fight for. But do you have any thought? See, you haven't been watching enough to have a thought, but like, you think the only reason Rollins is in it because they couldn't find anything else for him?
That, and who do you think's gonna? I mean, everybody always thinks, in my opinion, it's like, well, who's going to lose here? Seth will lose.
Seth has to take the pin or something.
Seth will take the pin.
Yeah, like Reigns spears Rollins, and then Punk throws Reigns out of the ring and quick covers or something.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, that could be a thought. But yeah, that'd be my thought there.
Yeah. So, anyways, I say, by the way, this is great. You're going to love this. So, if you remember 9 years ago, when we first started, we recorded an episode of why I hate CM Punk.
Yeah. Yes. I very well remember this.
Guess what brand new t-shirt I just bought and I'm wearing WrestleMania Saturday night? I bought a CM Punk. Yeah, I bought a CM Punk t-shirt. I'm wearing it Saturday night during WrestleMania.
It's incredible.
I completely flipped.
I can't believe Punk has won you over.
I'm all in on middle-aged dad Punk. Like, it's just like, I like this Punk.
You mean just middle-aged Punk because he's not a dad.
He's not a dad, but he kind of like
father of Larry the dog.
Well, yeah, but he has that like the voice of the voiceless. The voiceless is middle-aged dudes like me. That's what I feel like he's talking about. Like he's tired. He doesn't want to deal with people's shit. He just wants to show up. But like that's what kind of we all.
Wow, like, so you're a punker now.
I am now. Like I can't. Like I'm all about this match, and any one of the three of them is cool. But when Punk's on, I'm watching now. I used to turn it off because I was a stupid fuck. But
This is amazing. This episode itself.
I'm saying, right?
That because he's interesting. He can talk.
He's interesting. Yeah, it's not just like the old.
You never know what he's gonna say.
Yeah, the old like rebelling against the system punk, like that was kind of stupid to me. Like this guy, he just is like speaking his mind. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel forced anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you want to go to day 2 next, or do you want to intersplice it in the middle with a little Hall of Fame quick talk?
Let's talk some Hall of Fame because Friday night. First of all, did you know it's on at 10 o'clock Pacific?
I read somebody was saying that like the real time of it is like
it's 1 a.m.
after midnight in Eastern.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. on YouTube. Like who fuck? So no, I'll watch that Saturday afternoon or something while I'm doing whatever.
All right, so let you start with who you want to talk about first, and I'll tell you a quick thought.
Michelle McCool
sucks, like absolutely ridiculous. This is just a jerk off Undertaker.
Hey, we got our soundbite. We got our clip.
Like this is like I don't even know where to start. I know they technically are like running out of things to induct, and it's smart of them to start inducting matches. They stole that from the UFC.
I like that though. Yeah, I know it's not their idea, but it's a good idea.
Great idea. It really is. But like they're running out, like Michelle McCool, like oh my god, like
yeah, there's so many more qualified.
Yeah, well, every year I feel like they feel like, well, we got to do a woman, we got to do this, we got to like. There's better women out there than probably Michelle McCool. I'd have to get a list to see who's not in.
Well, like Victoria is not in.
But somebody who's didn't even wrestle in WWE and just was a female wrestler that was great. Not even WWE, but the man. Anyway, that's my Michelle McCool thought.
All right. Natural disasters.
Quake's not in by himself, correct?
He's not.
Which is ridiculous, in my opinion. Of all the people, like Quake, John Tenta, whatever you want to like, phenomenal. Had a good main event run, great main event program with Hogan. One of the most, as a kid, one of the most memorable.
When he squashed Hogan, I was like, wow, no.
And even I remember being a kid, his debut when they pulled him out of the crowd. You know, that whole pull him out of the crowd thing with the and he sat on Warriors back and Dino Bravo, and he crushed Warriors. I think is what happened. So he had a very memorable run for me in WWE. WWF, shouldn't say WWE. Crushed Jake the Snake Roberts Snake.
The Snake,
angles. Went to WCW, couldn't be Quake, was the Shark, was this. But he was still, in the Dungeon of Doom. I know he came back late in his career to WWF and was Golga. But to me, I thought Quake could be in the Hall of Fame by himself. So for me, this is nice that he at least, John Tent is in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Same thing. I mean, they're running out of people to put in. Same thing could be said for Tugboat, Typhoon, whatever you want to call him, the Shockmaster.
The Shockmaster. The man you thought was dead years ago.
Tugboat also, had a Hogan brush too. He was Hogan's friend after Quake, I believe, destroyed him. And he was the one that got all the kids to write letters in, I think, for Hulk.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I remember correctly. So
Tugboat. How stupid was that?
Yeah. And funny enough, I don't know if you've ever read this, but going way back, Vince's original idea, I believe, for Mania, going way back, was Hogan Tugboat main event, and it was Sheik Tugboat. He would become the Iraqi sympathizer, I believe. You can look it up when we're done. I think just type in Sheik Tugboat. But anyway,
be the first person to ever do that.
I don't think they were. I mean, they were a good tag team, whatever. They're dominant, huge. But they could have been just in on their own merits, especially Quake, in my opinion.
Quake, probably not Tugboat necessarily.
Because when you think about it, when I think big tag teams from back in the day, I still also think the Twin Towers, Boss Man
and Akeem. Yeah.
That's my thought on them. I don't know yours, but
no, I mean, as a kid, they were a big tag team. So I mean, I'm fine with it, but I also didn't look at their body of work. Like in my mind, they were probably a bigger deal than they actually were.
I mean, they weren't probably around. Were they around really that long? Did they?
That's what I mean. I was just going to say that they were probably around like a year or two.
Did they take the titles from Money Inc. or lose the titles to Money Inc.? I can't remember. I think there was a title change, Disasters and Money Inc. But
yeah, I remember Tugboat as a singles more than I do, and definitely Quake. I mean, Quake, I agree with you that he should be in on his own merit, but what are you going to do? He's not around to complain about it. Lex Luger.
Yeah, it's pretty dominant that you think if Lex Luger's going in, you think there's a chance that he could have headlined a class.
Could have,
but then he kind of has the black cloud over his head of like, I killed Miss Elizabeth. All right, maybe
that whole thing.
Yeah. So I know it's going to be big because, you know, he's been kind of like body is destroyed.
He's
wheelchair bound. Diamond Dallas Page, the miracle worker, has brought him back. And apparently we're going to see Lex walk, that's the rumor. Lex is going to be walking at Mania.
How good was it? You watched that WrestleMania 9 special.
Yeah.
That was really cool watching. Like Lex Luger seems like genuinely like so happy and like pleased to see stuff, doesn't he?
I believe like he's had like with what happened to him physically. I believe he's kind of in that period of life where he's like very thankful for everything.
Yeah.
And he's happy to be alive. And he knows, like, listen, Lex Luger, phenomenal athlete, but by all accounts I've ever heard, so he went to Penn State originally to play football.
Really?
Joe Paterno kicked him out. He ended up at Miami. My buddy Jim was dating a girl, I told you this, whose father roomed with Lex at Miami, played football at Miami with Lex.
Oh.
Lex, Lex is a great athlete. By all accounts, you always hear big party guy. And then, they had the whole thing, with when he was in a relationship with Miss Elizabeth, they were both hooked on drugs and shit.
Painkillers and shit. Yeah.
So that's kind of always kind of hung over him, I feel like. But his body of work, he's a trillion times over. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. Even if he hadn't been in WWE at all, he's a Hall of Famer.
But he's been I know they did the whole false finish Royal Rumble where Vince wanted to see who got cheered louder, him or Brett.
Yeah.
But everybody in WWF will remember he comes in as the narcissist. And then he tries to make him his Hogan, know, and the Lex Express
when he rode a bus.
The USS Intrepid. What do you say? The things you still remember. I'll give it. Vince knew a way to make it the USS Intrepid, the body slamming Yokozuna. So,
yeah, I mean, the thing is, a Hall of Famer should be a person that if I say his name, you immediately like remember shit that he did. Like when I say Michelle McCool, I can't remember a fucking thing.
Not
Michelle
a thing
McCool did except
other
for
than
the Undertaker.
Yeah.
So we both said it.
But yeah, like and Lex was in WCW. I mean, so many, world title. He beat Hogan for the world title on Nitro, I think it was, when everybody came out. Yep. He racked Hogan. And Hogan tapped and immediately, and
it's those moments,
And Lex has just so many. He was the big guy on the first Nitro where they filmed in the mall. Like they're like, oh my God, who's the? And Lex was just out of WWF at the time.
Yep.
And nobody knew he didn't sign, I guess. So it was like, Lex Luger, 1,000%, he deserves it.
And then the other person going in is Triple H.
Yeah.
And, you can say what you want. If you take away the fact that he runs the place, he's definitely a Hall of Famer, obviously.
Yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. It's going to be tough to figure out when to induct him. And I feel like maybe this year they felt like because they always want to have that headliner. And I feel like they were like, all right, well, we need somebody, and it's going to be you, Trips.
Yeah, we need somebody that didn't kill somebody to be
and we should state here, and maybe when you splice it, put a disclaimer. I'm not saying that Lex Luger actually killed Miss Elizabeth. It was a joke.
Come on.
Obviously, they were both doing drugs. But it would be tough to make, I think, Luger a maybe complete headliner. And Triple H was, in the grand scheme of things, quote unquote, probably a bigger star. I think Lex Luger, he probably had this. It depends, like who knows what happens with Triple H. I mean, he had to get the right booking, but the ability was there. The thing is, Triple H in his mind, I still feel like thinks he's like The Rock, Steve Austin.
Yeah,
He's not though. he's just not that level.
He's not.
He's always going to be a level below that. He's never a Hogan. He's never, a Rock. He's never a Steve Austin.
Nope. He wasn't a Cena. Nope.
But he's definitely a Hall of Famer, and he's
more than good enough
to headline a class.
The thing you will say about Triple H, there was a time when Rock and Austin left, and before Cena became a thing, Triple H kind of carried it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he would. He's definitely he's more the headline of class, and I'm sure he'll give a great speech. Do you know anybody that's I didn't even look who's inducting who? Do you know who the people are doing the inducting?
Shawn Michaels for Triple H.
Makes sense, yeah.
I did not see who it's going to be for Lex Luger though. That's the one I know. It's Undertaker's inducting Michelle McCool, which who cares? Yeah. He should induct her, and then she comes out from behind the podium, like from underneath the podium.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I was here the whole time. I don't know about natural disasters. I don't know who could.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who would. Yeah, I didn't look at all. So
I'm intrigued for the Lex Luger one because that would be cool.
His speech. I think his speech would be very interesting here, just because he's been through so much.
Yeah,
kind of with his health, and I feel like he feels like he has a new lease on life, and he's probably done a complete 180 in terms of like the type of person he was, the type of person he is now. So yeah. Oh, is it? You think DDP is going to induct Luger?
See, I don't think so. I think that I read that he's not.
Okay.
And so
he'll be there though, I'm sure. So
yeah. Oh yeah, they'll show him. Let's take an aside from before we get to night 2. I'm like becoming like you a little more interested in things that are not actually the wrestling. Like I love that WrestleMania 9 special.
Yeah.
And I love Dark Side of the Ring. Like I'm starting to like that, like wrestling documentaries more than the wrestling itself.
You know why? Because it's taking us back to when the things we were. It's like everybody's nostalgic about like childhood stuff, no matter.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But it's so interesting. Like I could watch that stuff all day.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I love that WrestleMania 9 thing. So, all right, let's get on the night 2. Let's do it.
Styles Paul.
Who?
Styles Paul.
Oh, Styles. I thought that was a person. Styles Paul. AJ Logan. Like, what the fuck?
Paul Styles.
Yeah. So I'm glad my boy AJ gets on the card. I'm sure it's just to put Logan Paul over, though, to make him look. I mean, that will probably be the match of the night. I mean, it has the potential to be because those two can obviously go.
You think they'll open the card?
I think they'll open it. Yeah, because there's no, like, obviously the title match for that one is Cena and Cody. It's the main event. But yeah, so I think AJ loses that one, but puts on the amazing show.
What about Randall Keith? Do you think they find something for Randall Keith?
Yeah, he'll have a match. I don't know.
You need to have an RKO at Mania, I think, at this point.
Yeah, you gotta have something. People are saying that it could be Nick Aldis, but I don't think that's gonna that would be cool if he just comes out and he's like, I couldn't find you an opponent, so takes off his, whatever, and then it's just RKO and over.
Yeah, they seem to do, they're more comfortable doing those weird impromptu matches now.
It's not about. I mean, it used to be, and here we go again. It used to be WrestleMania was the season finale, right?
Yeah.
All the storylines we watched all year long came to a head here at WrestleMania in April or March or whatever. Now it's just like,
maybe we just thought it was that way because we were
maybe, but like now it's become spectacle matches. You know what I mean? Like Cena and Rhodes makes no fucking sense other than the fact that it's a big spectacle.
We'll get to that.
I know, but I'm just saying that kind of thing. All right,
you don't think it makes sense? We'll talk about it.
Right.
Priest McIntyre.
No, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm sorry. It's a street fight, so that'll be good. It'll probably be bloody. And I would imagine it's going to be really entertaining. But I wish they would just do something better with Drew McIntyre.
So does he. The IC 4-way. We got Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Penta El Cero Miedo, AEW guy, and Bron Breakker. I texted you, remember? I think I texted you. I know I texted you that I saw Bron Breakker at the airport.
Yeah, and he was wearing a cowboy hat or whatever.
Yeah, and I told you I wasn't watching Raw. So I see, literally, we're going head to head, walking right at each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh my God. So you're walking at each other. He could have speared you.
And I'm like, and I still like could watch it. I'm like, that's Bron Breakker. Like what? I'm like, he was wearing a cowboy hat. I'm like, is he a cowboy? And then I like, I was gonna ask. I'm like, do I ask for a picture? I'm like, eh. So I looked up that the night before on Raw was the night he put the cowboy hat on, and he was wearing it through the damn airport.
He's just like, well, I'm out of here, going right to the airport.
Yeah. It's funny. Like we were talking before the show about your one buddy. He took all the pictures with the wrestlers, and you can kind of see like the guys that you think are like 6'3" or 5'11". Yeah, like Bron Breakker. Like me and him are like the same height. Like
really, yeah, crazy, guys.
It's crazy. Like
probably like my height.
Everybody looks so much bigger on TV.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, so this will be a showcase for Breakker, right?
Absolutely. I think Breakker's going to win, and he's going to do all kinds of crazy shit. I wish it was a ladder match. I remember the old ladder matches for the IC title. They do 6 or 8 guys or whatever. Like, you know, what was Zack Ryder had his moment on the ladder for the IC title, all that shit. Those matches were so much fun. And I guess this is close to that, but not quite there.
Penta's going to do some crazy shit in this match.
Oh, yeah. Penta's going to go nuts.
Finn Balor.
Older, isn't he? Isn't Penta kind of older? Like, he's not like some new guy.
I mean, I don't think he's young, but I still, from watching AEW, he can go. I think he's going to do.
He's cool, and his entrance is awesome.
You brought up something that I'll get. Let's just might as well get to it because we discussed this match.
Yeah.
You said about Zack Ryder. How about Chelsea Green not being on the show?
She's the women's U.S. title holder, and if she wasn't on the show, it'd be a shame anyways because she's entertaining as shit. But the fact that she has a title, she should be on the show.
Right. Especially since like I feel like she does a really good job as well, obviously, as Matt Cardona of like promoting themselves on Twitter and like staying, like I don't know. She just feels like she does whatever they ask of her type performer.
Yep.
Knows she's not ever going to be at the top of the card, is happy with just being involved. Yep. But I have to think that she thought she would have some sort of Mania match this year.
Well, there's a lot of guys. Well, you said there's a lot of guys that don't have Mania. Sami Zayn doesn't have a Mania match. You know what I mean? Like there's certain like bigger names.
Isn't it kind of crazy? Because like he was involved with that the Bloodline storyline, and he was a very big part of Mania. And now he's not even on it.
Yeah.
Mayo's injured, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that was a shame.
And then. So, yeah, that was just my thought on Chelsea Green. Chelsea. So, women's tag team. It's crazy with the women's tag team because so many times, like, there were so many belts never defended at Mania. Women's tag team championship, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus.
Listen, look at you. You're so old. You don't even know these wrestlers anymore. You're like, who are these newfangled
Raquel Rodriguez? So they've got, if I'm not wrong, Raquel. I know her. She's a jacked. She's like
she's 6 foot. Yeah.
Wrestler. Bayley got her moment last year, and now she's back down the card. And isn't Lyra, or I don't know, isn't she also like a very like she's a more muscular wrestler?
Yeah, she's really short. She's the women's IC title holder, I think. So she's really good. She's incredibly strong for her size, but she does like moves that like it would never work on like a bigger wrestler. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. But that'll be decent. That's good.
Her real name, she should go by her real name. Her real name. So she's Irish, and it's spelled Aoife. I believe that's pronounced Aoife. And I like that's a cool name. Like
it's better than Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah. But so what's going on there? Is this
there's really nothing I mean, it's just another one of these that was like I think again, Bayley and Valkyria qualified for this 2 weeks ago. They had another gauntlet. It was a good gauntlet match. The gauntlet match was probably better than what the fucking like title match is going to be, but they had a gauntlet match on SmackDown, I think it was, and they beat they were the first ones out, and they beat every team that came out. It was really good. So, yeah, another one that's just thrown together, which is fine, but I wish it wasn't all thrown together.
Going by on the screen right now, Ripley versus Sky versus Blair for the women.
Oh, there you go. Look at you looking at the stat crawl on the bottom. Yeah.
I know those people. I know Io Sky. I know
Rhea. You know them? Okay, at least you know them. Yeah.
Remember we saw when we went to Mania. Well, we didn't go to Mania. We went to NXT the night before Mania.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, and we saw Bianca Belair way back then.
Yeah.
A
We
lot of
also saw the War Raiders back then. That match was fucking incredible. You know what I remember about that NXT
Al
Brooklyn
Black
show?
and Rico Chat.
Yep, Black and Rico Chat. But the big thing I remember about that show was like you didn't give a crap about NXT, and you probably still don't. And I was like super into NXT at the time. Yeah. And that War Raiders match was the first match on the card, and it was incredible. I think it was them versus DIY, like Gargano and Ciampa, or maybe it was whoever it was.
Yeah, because at the end of the show, didn't Gargano like stand tall at the end of the show though?
Yeah, or maybe it wasn't Gargano. Whoever it was, I think. It was War Raiders against what's Adam Cole's stupid crew, or whatever they were called. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and all those.
For some reason, I was thinking, I was thinking AEW. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Undisputed. Yeah, it was the tag between those two.
Was that
Undisputed Era? Yeah. And that match had it was so good, so many false finishes. And I remember you turning, you're going, that was fucking awesome. I'm like, yes, NXT is good. Stop this on it. So, but now they're on the CW and nobody watches. So, so anyways, where were we? Oh, Rhea Ripley, Belair.
Everybody loves Rhea.
Yeah, Rhea will win this. She wasn't even supposed to be in this. It was Sky has the title, Belair won the Royal Rumble, and Ripley just bitched and moaned until she got in the match, storyline wise.
Because she's Rhea Ripley, damn it.
Yeah, I guess. Otherwise, what's she gonna do? So.
Yeah, when you look like Rhea Ripley, you can do whatever you want.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing I look like Rhea Ripley. Oh, see? Look at that. Wow. Ow, I hurt my finger. Anyways.
All right, let's talk about it. The big one, the WrestleMania Night 2 main event.
Cena versus Cody Rhodes. All right.
With The Rock hanging over things.
With The Rock hanging over stuff.
Do you want Rock robot, John Cena, like in Rocky 5 when they said Tommy the Machine Gun was Rocky's robot.
Ah, look at you.
Play on that, in my opinion.
So here we go. First of all, this is thrown together for no reason. Like when Cena comes out and does his promos, it makes no sense why he would A, turn heel, or B, go for Cody Rhodes.
His heel promos have been great.
No, they're too. I don't like it.
You don't think Cena's done an incredible job on these? He's been good at explaining he's going for a 17th. So why would
that part makes sense? Why doesn't he just come and try to win the 17th as the same guy? Do you know what I mean? Why does
he's been begging? I've been begging for Cena. We've been begging for years. He finally does it. You're like, why doesn't he just stay the same? This is exactly what happens. You beg for something, and all these years it happens, and you shit on it. And this is one of the few things I've been following and watching.
Oh, and,
okay. I made sure I watched the pay-per-view where Cena turned.
Yeah.
And The Rock. Do you think because there's been a 1, and hasn't there been there's
got to be a third man? I'm sure
another shoe to fall, right? That sets up Cena to win it, right? Because you think they're going to say this is going to be an FU to Flair, I assume, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that they're going to do something that. And you said you couldn't remember last year's WrestleMania, but the mayhem at the end of last year's WrestleMania.
Oh, no, I remember last year's the main event very well.
Oh, okay.
I just meant a lot of
You know how WWE always gets
where they had to get Taker to come out at the last second because Austin wouldn't do it.
Yeah. So WWE gets caught up in trying to always top themselves, right? Yeah. Always.
And Triple H is a big fan of callbacks,
right. And that just happened, and everybody's saying it's the greatest moment of all time. Yeah. And I shouldn't say worry, but I feel like they're going to try to do something so incredibly similar to beat Cody, but with bad guys coming out instead of 3 good guys coming out. Do you get what I'm saying?
You said you love this you so much, and now I thought it was overbooked. Me personally, it's too much.
Oh, it was too much, but it was amazing
because you got to see the Undertaker.
It was a good, fuck off. It was a good moment. It was a cool moment. When you're watching it, it's just holy shit.
It was just music sound, old guy. Music sound, old guy.
Isn't that what we live for? The pop? I mean, who gets
so you think during this match, we're definitely getting The Rock music hitting.
Yeah, The Rock will have to come out. it would make all kinds of sense if it was somebody else that went Hollywood, like a Batista, or not him, but like somebody like that went Hollywood, and then it's the 3 Hollywoods, you know what I mean, or something like that, because he wanted Cody to sell
Hollywood Hogan, one more run, brother.
No, it better not be.
For that, brother.
I'm telling you,
I will pop for that, brother.
I know you love him and you pop to him all the time. It's gross. But like when I watch that WrestleMania 9, every time he's on the screen, it makes my skin crawl.
Love him, brother. What about if with Tony Khan signs off and lets Dustin Rhodes work Mania?
That'd be awesome. That'd be cool.
No, so yeah, like that's what I was trying to figure out, if there's going to be like a, who would be involved, like it could. I don't think. Do you think we got a Flair run in to try and help?
Flair run in is what you're calling
Flair walk in to help Rhodes?
That's what I mean. It's going to be something like that because of how they always do that. Like you said, the Triple H loves callbacks, and they don't want it to be like last year's was so much better because of that moment at the end. They want to leave people talking. So that's
it'll be interesting. Like that, at least there's going to be intrigue, and like they're just not going to do a straight. And if they did do a straight match and it was a great match, okay,
that'd be great. Yeah, but if that happened,
I think a lot of fans, like you said, would probably be like, "Oh, well, that was dull. It was just a match."
Yeah, make more sense.
Like the main event of Mania is going to be like, for a while, probably these type of situations where things are quote unquote, probably overbooked
because it got so much attention. I mean,
so Flair, Rock. I'm trying to think who else potentially like comes out. Like obviously, people are going to say, "Is Taker going to come out again?" He's there. Like I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. It would have to be somebody that would be like in Cody's corner or something. I don't know.
But what about another person that like puts Cena over the top, like unexpectedly like screws Cody?
Like, yeah, somebody that's like a historical Cena enemy, like Randy Orton or something. You know what I mean? Like somebody like that.
Yeah, like that's how he gets in the Mania. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of routes to go. I hope part of the whole Rock thing that slightly a lot annoyed me.
Slightly a lot annoyed you. Makes no sense.
Like, you know how WWE stole the whole post pay-per-view media session from AEW?
Yeah.
And the thing that annoys me is Rock the entire time is like not in character, I feel like.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
And I'm like
outside the arena, he becomes Dwayne Johnson. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like when you go to that post thing back there and you're playing this final boss character, and then as soon as you go back there, you're like, yeah, so what we're really trying to do is tell a story here about an evil Rock. Dwayne Johnson's a great guy, but the evil Rock, and I'm just like, look, we're suspending belief here, asshole. Like you could just be, and a lot of people think Dwayne Johnson's a dick, so you could just be like, you know what I mean? That just annoyed me a little bit. And obviously, I think we've already talked about it. This.
Oh yeah.
This.
Isn't that great when Punk did that? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Punk goes, when you come out here and do your bullshit. I was like, see, it's another thing. I love him. He's so good now.
So now we'd have to record an episode based on like how much you love CM Punk.
Pretty much. Yeah. Now I'm telling you, I love middle-aged cranky CM Punk. It's like, I can see myself in him. You know what I mean? So yeah. So you're going to actually watch Mania, huh? That's
impressive. I don't know if I'll watch all of it, but
all 8 hours plus the pre-show, post-show. Yeah, no way.
Much.
Not happening.
And what about has Mania ever been on Easter before?
No, this is the latest it's ever been, and they've always like managed to work around it. It's always Easter season, but
yeah, I've always thought, my opinion, and again, I'm just going back to remembering as a kid, was Vince always ran the Rumble between the NFC AFC Championship and the Super Bowl, and ran Mania right after the Final Four.
Yep.
And now you run it on Saturday and Sunday, Easter. Like people are supposed to, some people are moving with their families and stuff. Like, I don't know, but
I'm with you.
I'll watch it. I'll try to watch as much as I can live, but if not, I'll watch some Monday possibly.
I know Mania being on Easter, it's like we're gonna have the family over here, and then like 5:30 is going to come around. I'm going to be starting to like shake and twitch and be like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, you want to have all your beverages and
Yeah, I don't want everybody to be like, who's that?
You're not straight edge like Punk,
No, I admire the man, but come on, give me a break. Oh, well, there you go. Look at us.
We did it. We almost went a full Broadway here, almost an hour.
Almost a whole hour. I mean, 60 minutes once a year. I think we can handle it. Taker would go like 40 minutes once a year. So we got him beat. So anything else you want to talk about, sir? Yeah, that's it. You've had enough of looking at my face.
I think I've had enough.
My long hair again. Look, now with the light on.
Maybe if things hit right, we do a post-Mania this year.
Yeah, we say that every year, and every year we're like, fuck it. I don't want to talk to you again.
We'll see.
Because last year was an amazing WrestleMania ending, and we're
saying amazing. I don't know.
It was incredible. You're going to tell me what you just had there. You went, well, that was entertaining. I really like that.
Look, music, a guy. Oh, look, music, a guy. Oh, look,
wrestling. That's what wrestling is, you dumbass. That's what wrestling is. Music, guy, sound. Here comes another guy. Woo, a guy. That's what wrestling is, you stupid idiot.
I don't know. I didn't like, me. I don't need the Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean, I could do with it. Would have been better if it was Austin, but let's not criticize that. That was an incredible thing, and we still were like, meh, no need for a post show.
We'll see. We'll see what happens this year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But well, thanks for getting together, and everybody else anybody that watched or listened. I don't give a fuck if you did or not. We don't make money on this. We do this for our own fun. Oh, look at this.
You have a child back there.
Yeah, I know. The
Probably
child.
got us arrested for having a child on screen.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, Sam. It was a good time. And we will catch you guys next time.
Later.
Hey, look at us.